Hi, everyone. This is Regine. I am super excited to be back with another interview. Today, I'm interviewing Yoav Gilat, founder and CEO of Share a Splash Wine Company. In the mid-30s, Yoav noticed a gap in the marketplace, high-quality California Cabernets under $20. Using a negociant-like model, he set out to build a company that makes wine inclusive, fun, and welcoming. Success came quickly, and he was able to scale up just as rapidly. Today, the Share a Splash portfolio includes Cannonball, Angels and Cowboys, High Dive Napa Valley, and imports including New Zealand's Astrolabe wines, Jose Maria de Francesca's Twin Vines. To this day, he still works to break down the barriers surrounding wine and create an environment where everyone truly feels welcome. Welcome, Yoav. Nice to see you.
Likewise. Good to see you, Regine.
I read your bio, and I don't know if you do this. Every once in a while, I go back and I read my own bio, just to remind myself of how far I've come. Also to encourage me, right, to go a little bit further. So I'm curious, as you listen to the bio, what type of person are you? In your own words, who are you?
I like to basically just describe myself, I would say, as a husband, as a father, as a family man. A founder, entrepreneur in the works. I don't think we ever stop.
No.
and very passionate human being in general. I try to look at the glass half full. Sometimes it's hard, but cautiously optimistic in general, I would say.
I love that. And I love that when I ask you who you are, you started with, I'm a husband, I'm a father, family first. And that's one of the things I always remember in the few times that we've met, you always lead the conversation with your family. So let me ask you this, how has being a husband and being a father impacted the type of leader that you are?
It's always a compromise. You can't do everything perfect. So I don't think I'm the perfect husband. I don't think I'm the perfect father. I don't think I'm the perfect CEO. I don't think I'm the perfect son or the perfect friend or the perfect brother. But I do my best. We do our best. I really try to learn every day. In general, I'm very hard with myself, so I always ask for more and do as much as I can. And it's a balance. I don't think that the work-life balance, I don't buy into that specifically, but because it's all so convoluted, it's a mix. It's a thing that I bring work home and I bring home to work in a way. So it's a combination of everything together. There is no it's not just one thing that I can basically say that I can separate the two things. And yeah, that's more or less. It's tough. I try to set an example to my kids, and obviously to my employees, and to my colleagues at work.
I imagine, based on your answer, it seems like you're an empathetic leader, because you say, I'm not perfect. I don't expect perfection. Does that make you, yeah?
I don't know. I think I mean, if you ask my team, they'll say I do expect perfection. So okay. I don't think that I don't expect, I'm expecting myself to give every day 120%. But if I look at it from the side, looking in, I don't think I'm the best at at any of those things. I'm doing my best, and I'm always kind of push myself to do more than usual, I would say, and I think my team will tell you the same thing if you ask them. Without me listening, they'll probably going to tell you the same thing. It's probably my kids will tell you the same thing. It's like that I'm always expecting them to do more than, if you have like the extras work, I always tell them we do it. To our family, we do the extra work. We don't just do what we need to. We do above and beyond that. So it absolutely goes in my personal life and obviously in my business life as well.
Where does that drive come from? Because I don't think that everyone has it. I think you can work towards being driven, but sometimes I think it's innate. So where does it come from for you?
I don't know. I think I grew up in a house that both my parents were working,
Mm-hmm.
and my grandparents were working as well, and it was always like I think I don't know if it's the Jewish gene. I don't think it's that. I know that in other culture it's the same thing. So I think it is the environment that you live in. So it doesn't have to be very, very specific.
Yeah.
To specific, But I think that's how I was brought up. I lost my dad in a very young age. I was 14 years old, and I just I had that drive in me, like to basically. I didn't want to rely on anyone.
Mm-hmm.
I just said you got to do what you got to do, and I don't want to look back when I'm older,
Mm-hmm.
in my 80s, and say, I could have, I should have, I would have. I
Mm-hmm.
really want to live and look at the mirror and say, I've done what I could,
Mm-hmm.
in both in my personal life and in my business life. So can always you can always do more.
Uh-huh.
So as I said, it's a balance. I have 4 amazing kids. I have an amazing wife, and I have to be supportive at her work,
Mm-hmm.
and as well. And we all juggle. We all work around the clock, and being um, being a husband, being a father, again, being like it's so many roles. Being a CEO,
Mm-hmm.
being a friend. So there is a lot of functions that we basically have to do. So the drive is just back to your original question. Just comes. I don't know. I think it's maybe something in the water. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, I'm going to
Wow.
let me push you a little harder because I think sometimes we we don't realize what you've accomplished is really amazing. And I don't mean to say this to, gas you up, as the kids might say, maybe the older people would say, but
Sure.
it's not easy to create a company like yours, to have the portfolio that you have and create a brand that really understands the market, right?
Yeah.
Like what I read in your bio, $20 Napa Cabernet. That is a spot where that needed to be filled. So you understood something. You created a team. You created this business. So let me ask you this: if you can't think of where the drive comes from, is there something that you do in your daily life that attributes to your success? Is there a habit that you have or a philosophy that you have?
In general, it's curiosity. I would say
Okay.
this is what really, I think from a very young age, I was always curious about stuff. I'm a people person.
Mm-hmm.
I love to learn about other cultures, about other uh, traditions, about um, and so I read quite a bit, I want to say. So that's I'm not like kind of um, it's not that I read everyday books, but I try to basically read through newspapers, read areas that I find of interest or areas that I think that I'm weak at, and I
Mm-hmm.
want to basically know more about it and learn more about it. Listening nowadays to podcasts is an amazing way to kind of really works really well for me on long trips, and I fly quite a bit, and I drive in my car to the winery. So when I have those moments, it just depends on the hour of the day. But if I'm not on the phone, I try to listen to some podcasts and
Yeah.
the airport. So that's that, and also learn from people around me. So I
Mm-hmm.
try to really and be always connected to the people, to the industry, to I have my vision. I have my, kind of where I want to go.
Mm-hmm.
But I always have to kind of, it's not that I doubt myself on a daily basis, but I absolutely want to listen to other people and get other opinions. And I'm married to my ideas and my vision. It's true.
Yeah.
But there are things along the way that you have to change and correct and adopt and change those things. So this is on that side of the business, but I think it's also the mental part is super, super important. So to find your I call it my me time, my alone time, or my personal time. And when I travel, I love art. I love to always visit, even if it's just to go to a museum, even for like 30 minutes, and just kind of space out and be on my own, listen to music. I love to exercise, so I try to do it daily. Even if I have 10 minutes extra, I will do my yoga. I love running, outdoor, indoor, love the ocean, love to scuba dive. So whenever I have the opportunity to do something, I always try to do something, not just to sit and do nothing. I'm trying to get the best of it. Even when I'm relaxed, I'm basically doing something.
Yeah,
So,
I love what you said about being curious and reading. I think that that's the most important thing, because if there's something you don't know, you can figure it out through a book, right? And learning from other people, I think that that is just invaluable. And I'm with you. Anytime I can be outside, moving, just being outdoors. I think when we are entrepreneurs, our soul and our mind needs it in order to keep going.
yeah, absolutely. And I'm being fed by that energy. I want to say this is my plug-in. Some people need to recharge when they go to a spa or they go to for me, it's about people. That's what gives me energy, like to be around people in a one-on-one conversations. Even it doesn't have to be like, I don't need a big crowd, but I like to engage with people. And I'm not the person that loves to be on his phone around people. My wife will tell me sometimes I'm too, and I say, let's sit at the bar. As long as you talk to me and you don't talk to anyone else at the bar. So I have this tendency of like immediately being friendly, I guess, but it's just who I am. Always going to offer somebody that is next to me, even if we're in a group of 4 or 5 people, and I see somebody as like offer him to try the wine or see if he's on his own, to basically I'm not trying to scare anyone away and being too much of a but I am. I think this is what this is my energy, like to be with people.
So you're an extrovert.
Yes, yeah, I think so. I mean, I would say I am. I have my moments that I like to be on my own space. Many times I'll be with my headphones on, and I just need my alone time. That's why I love to scuba dive. I can be with underwater. And just kind of be in my own thoughts. And sometimes when I run, I do the same thing. I don't like to run in groups, for example. I love to run on my own. So I love my alone moments. Don't get me wrong, but it's a good balance, I would say. Okay. I'm more of a people person.
So, this series for me, I think I mentioned this earlier, is about communicating with other leaders, but with people who admire what you've done, right? And maybe they want to do it. And I think sometimes when we share our stories, we share the good, the celebration, and that's super important. But we don't often talk about the hard part, right? And I think that we all have a comeback story, a moment where we were like facing a loss or facing failure, and then we came back from it. And that's why we're in this position where we're being celebrated. So I'd love to hear your comeback story.
Wow. It's there are many failures, like this is how you learn. I always tell my kids and my coworkers, anyone else as well, this is how we learn. Like if we don't make mistakes, we don't learn. So I don't I don't know if there is like a specific, a comeback story. I need to think about that. But we started very scrappy. I mean, we didn't. I don't have investors. I don't have anyone that basically, it's my own money, and it's not that I inherited, billions of dollars. I mean, we had to take a second mortgage on the house. We basically had I personally had to guarantee all the loans that we are taking till this day. We're taking some loans from the bank, and it's on me. It's on my head. It's no one else. So there is that part of, first of all, it's on my shoulders, right? I mean, this is what I always tell my wife and other friends that have like a secure job. I'm not saying they have less passion than me or they don't like their job as much as I do. But there is something about that moment. The high and the lows are higher. When you're high, like I think it's higher, and when you're low, it's low because you are dealing with those situations on your own. If it's in our industry from Mother Nature, I want to say this is definitely, from the fires that we experience, the drought, the frost, other issues, rain, other things that we're experiencing. It's definitely some low moments in terms of comebacks. Like every time we experience something like that, you really have to be resilient and basically be optimistic and believe, because it's tough. People say, how do you do that? Like it's impossible to. It's not just up to you, and COVID and things like that. So, I want to say one thing of, I don't know if it's a comeback, but just learning even from that. I really believed in building the brands on premise, through restaurants, through little wine shops. It's not a question of a shortcut to get immediately into the chain, to big chains, to the big box stores. But I was always intimidated by it. I was always afraid to do it. I was afraid that, I wanted to people, most of our wines are by the glass and very affordable, call it affordable luxury, they're under $20. Yeah. But during COVID, our brands were not wines that you could find in every big box store. It was more of a wine that you can find in wine shops or in wine bars or in some restaurants, but it's not one that was available in all the big chains. And that was a big disadvantage when COVID started. Everything was shut down. People were buying their toilet paper and eggs. They were also buying the wine. I mean, all that market that was 80% of our business came from restaurants and little boutique wine shops, was gone. So it took us time to adjust and to figure out what's the new strategy. What are we doing now, next? And it was a low point. I was like, wait a minute, like before, I want to say almost 15 years, the strategy was, no, we want to be in places that, know the brand and hence sell us. We're not on a billboard. We're not on a double spread in a wine magazine. And so it took us time to adjust and understand that we have to start rethinking about the strategy. So that's definitely was a low moment of like, how do we do that against all odds? When the wine consumption obviously was up, but we're not, and everybody, like every person you talk to is like, oh, I guess you guys are doing amazingly well. And it was like, actually, we're not. It wasn't an easy time, but I think we kind of have a brilliant, amazing group of people, the employees, that really everybody were working super, super hard and trying to think out of the box, or create new boxes for us.
How did you do it? How did you, are you in the big box stores now, or?
We have more present. I don't want to say that we are in all more in the upscale stores. We are available. I don't want to mention, specific chains that we are in, but definitely we understand that this is the new rules of engagements. You have to be more present. You have to have more shelf space. So we are changing that as we speak. The team that I have, have the skill set to get into the chains and to get it and to present to the buyers, and we have good trends. The velocity of the brands across the board. I just looked before we started. I got the latest Nielsen information, and we are in the green on every single brand on every single time period.
Awesome.
4 weeks, 12 weeks, 26 weeks, 52 weeks. It's tough in this environment when you're not one of the big wine companies. To do that, it's pretty impressive. So this is all thanks to my amazing winemaker Ondine and my amazing team. That this is, I mean, super important to have that team around me, and to make sure that we all go up together, and we lift each other and we help each other, and this is how we do it. So those low moments, I can probably give you more stories about bank situations, and it doesn't end, like those situations, and somebody who is not paying you and you need to pay a grower and you're relying on that payment. It's endless. Like, I think they just keeps on. When the phone is not ringing is a bad sign, because it means so it's gonna happen. So you just have to be ready. You just have to be super. I think I think we need to do another episode just to kind of my experience to share with entrepreneurs in our business, in the I think hospitality and food and beverage. Like there is so many things. I went to business school, to one of the best schools in the country, and they don't teach you those things. Like it's something that you need to, unfortunately, it's things that I mean, they didn't teach it back in 20 years ago. Maybe now they do, but there is so much in the day-to-day that you are not, it's not something that you're going to find in any textbook. So we need to learn from other people that have been there and done that, and get as much advice as you can. I would say that, and I try to do it. Whoever wants, reach out to me on LinkedIn or social media or through a friend. I'm always kind of, absolutely, I'll give you my 2 cents.
Yeah, but you've given so much right now. I mean, vulnerability is important. The fact that you shared, look, this is my money that I invested. And, a lot of people don't understand that there's this spectrum when it comes to the wine industry, and people on the outside think that everyone who's in the business, inherited land or inherited money. And, but there are people like you who are building this business and have built their business from the ground up. I also love how you shared your change in strategy, right? Fear kept you marketing your brand in one way, and then COVID pushed you to understand that, wait a minute, we have to have a bigger presence if we want to have the results that we need. I mean, I think that that's huge, and I think that these are the conversations that, as entrepreneurs, as leaders, that we need to have, because so many of us are in that situation, but no one wants to talk about it, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's I think that it's not a shame to fail. It's not a shame to make mistakes. This is the only way to learn.
Absolutely.
It's true about sport. It's true about relationships. It's absolutely true about businesses. It's true about anything in life. So I'm welcoming those failures, and I learn every day. I embrace them as long as you learn from them. If you make the same mistake twice, shame on you. But if you, I always say, it's fine to fail, and this is what makes you a better person.
Amen. Makes you a better leader, better entrepreneur. So here's my last question for you. How can we support you?
How can you support? I think, the best way, and we didn't really cover that, is my company specifically is, I think we have over 80% women in my company.
Oh, that's why you're so successful. Just kidding.
I can be more if I'll be 100. If I move aside to and let a woman.
Wait, hold on. I just want to make sure no one cancels me for saying that. I'm just joking.
No, but it is absolutely. Hello, sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
I think part of it is supporting women. I have 4 kids. I have 2 boys and 2 girls, and it's not just about the girls to see that I have so many women working in the company and in executive level, roles. It's also the boys that they see that there is equal opportunities. I think it's very important for the boys as well to see that women are equal to men and not less than men, and they can do as much as men can. So I think it's this is one thing, an area, so you asked me about how to support. So it's not me personally. I think the world need to we need women. Like I think we need women in leadership roles, not just to I think that hospitality world that women are good in specific jobs is wrong. And you don't bring women just when things are going really, really bad, and then then you throw a woman into the battlefield. I think we need to. So I think this is one. So it's I don't think it's helping me personally, but I think it will make the world a better place. And I mean it. I walk the talk. I think I really walk the talk, and I'm not just saying it because it sounds good. I think
I visited with you all a few years ago, so this is true. There are a lot of women working with you and for you. And let me say this: I love that you said, "Do not just bring a woman in when something goes wrong," because that tends to be. It's I'm not just saying that. This is a fact that women, people of color, they're given these positions in times of high stress, as opposed to like giving the opportunity just because they are qualified. Yeah.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, absolutely. And the other part of it, I know that you will be part of the community. Be part of be active. Don't wait for the moment that you say, oh, when I'm going to retire and I'm going to make money, or whenever that day comes. It's not that it will never come, but I think there is something very satisfying, and I think it builds a better companies and families, and is to do something for others, is not just to be busy of I'm just going to come to my office, or to and just going to be focused on. No, look around you and see what you can do for others, and involve your company, your employees in some sort of a community work. We do some work with World Central Kitchen, which we love, Jose Andreas and his team, and we do it even if when we don't make money, or we make little money. I think it's very important to do something for that super important cause of helping hospitality, helping kitchens and restaurants around the world, and in areas that need that support and love of World Central Kitchen. And there are hundreds of different examples. I'm not saying this is the only way to do it, but I think it just be part of a community and be active. And it doesn't have to be always I'm going to donate. Not everybody are Jeff Bezos and can write a check for $100 million. I think it's if you do what you can. So this is things, if you ask me, this is things that how can we support? It's not supporting me, support each other. I think we'll make the world a better place.
I can't think of a better way to end. So I want to thank you so much for your time. I look forward to seeing what you're going to do next. I look forward to having some more of your wine.
Absolutely. I'll be in Chicago next week, so you might have a chance even to have a glass of wine together.
Please give me a call. Yeah, I'd love to see you.
Wonderful.
Awesome.
Have a great holiday season.
Thank you very much. All right, everyone. Have a great day. Thank you for joining us. Cheers.